Hi, this is Baarath for DesiHounds.in. This video is an account of my observations of the dogs of Pandikona. Please note that I am neither an expert on dogs nor a breeder. The observations I have made in this video are from the perspective of a layman. With that out of the way, let's get started. My focus on this DesiHounds journey has been the human element of native dog keeping, and on that road, Pandikona holds a special place in my heart. I was excited to visit the village to witness firsthand the relationship between the dogs and the humans. I wanted to see these dogs in action as working dogs, and most importantly, the interactions with people, especially considering that none of these dogs are chained, are raised mostly free range, and are not given names. Thanks to Mr. Ramu Reddy, I was given a tour of the village. We were taken to almost every house that the villagers believed had good specimens worth capturing. And these included good working dogs, pups, some of the oldest dogs in the village, and some very good looking canines that you're about to see. I would like to specify here that this tour was organized around dusk. This is because apparently that is when the dogs would return from the farms of their respective owners. I got to witness this myself, dogs, in their own groups or alone, trailing not far behind the women, hurrying to their homes to some much deserved food, water, and rest after a hard day's work. As Mr. Ramu and Mr. Adinarayana explained in the first video, the dogs leave for the farms on their own volition to guard them and return home at sunset. I was also asked to maintain a safe distance with most of these dogs by their owners, hence the long distance shots. Even though the children, as you can see, or their owners stood watch, I took the advice rather seriously. Because personally for me, what struck me about these dogs in particular was not their size or frame, it was the energy that they emanated. Almost all of the dogs that I came across in Pandikona were very serious. They meant business. I was either growled at or completely ignored, as instructed by their masters. Except for the pups, of course. One more thing to note is that none of these dogs were tied or restrained for our shooting purposes in Pandikona. Like this dog, for example, that we have now dubbed as Panther. So whether the owners take these dogs to their farms to chase vermin like boar, or even around for a jaunt around the village, it is without a rope, leash, collar, or harness. The dogs respond to the noises or whistles that their masters make, and even without names, they follow instructions as expected. The dogs do get into fights with each other during these outings and excursions. The owners, for the most part, rarely intervene during territorial tussles between their dogs. Pandikona dogs, being very territorial in nature, mete out their own battle. Even pups do this to secure their positions in the village among all the other dogs. The next segment is where a villager, Mr. Malli, explains the roles of these dogs and the reasons behind the markings on these dogs and the cropping of their ears.
Pandikona గ్రామం పత్తికొండ మండలం కర్నూలు జిల్లా మా ఊరు కుక్కలు ప్రత్యేకత ఏమంటే అప్పటి నుండి ఆనవాయిత మామూలుగా కొండ ఉంది మా ఊర్లో ఆ కొండ మీద డంగోరు వేస్తే ఊరంతా చిరుతలు పులులు తర్వాత అడవి పందులు అవి ఇవి ఆటకి వెళ్ళేవారు. అప్పుడు ఈ భూమి ప్రభావము మరి అప్పటి నుంచి కానీ పందికొన కుక్కలు అంటే చాలా ఫేమస్. ఈ ఆట మార్గంగా కాకుండా ఊర్లోకి కూడా ఏరే జంతువులను రాకోకుండా చాలా తెలియగల కుక్కలు. అందుకోసమే మా కుక్కలు ప్రత్యేకత రాష్ట్రం కానీ కేంద్రం కానీ ప్రతి జిల్లాకి అక్కడి నుంచే వచ్చి మా ఊరికి వచ్చి అది ఏ సీజన్ అయితే అవి పుడతాయో ఆ సీజన్లో దొరకకుండా ముందు అడ్వాన్స్గా చెప్పి గ్రామంలోకి వచ్చి పట్టుకొని పోతుంటారు. ఏదన్నా సాయం చేసాము కానీ కుక్కలు సాయం చేయడం చాలా కష్టము. ఎందుకంటే కుక్కల ఉండే ప్రత్యేకత అది అప్పుడు పెద్దల అనువాదం నుంచి అట్లే మా గ్రామంలో అదే నడుస్తుంది. ఇది కుక్కలకి ఇట్లా కాల్చడం ఏమంటే అది మామూలుగా 6 నెలలు పుట్టిన తర్వాత 6 నెలలు మన పిల్లలకి ఏ మాదిరి వాతలు పెడతామో అట్లా వాతలు పెట్టడం ఏమంటే అన్నం బాగా ఆరోగ్యంగా ఉండడము, తర్వాత వేరే పిచ్చి కుక్కలు ఏదన్నా కరిస్తే కొద్దిగా చెట్టు కాకుండా ఉండడము. అంటే ఆనవాయితీ పెద్దలు ఏం చేసినారు అదే ఆనవాయితీలో ఇప్పటి వరకు కూడా వీటిని మనుషులకి మామూలుగా ఏదో చిన్నగా కాల్చేవాళ్ళు, వీటికి కూడా కడ్డీ కాగబెట్టి ఇట్లా కాగబెట్టి కాల్చేవాళ్ళు. అది పరిస్థితి. చెవులు కాల్చడానికి కూడా అంతే. చెవులు అంటే ఇట్లా కొడితే మనము ముందు ఎక్కడైనా బయలుదేరిపోయేటప్పుడు కొన్ని పనులు జరగవేమో, అంటే కుక్క అంటే చెవులు కొట్టకూడదని సాంప్రదాయ పెద్దలు చెప్పేది. కొట్టుకోకుండా వీటిని కత్తిరించేది. మామూలుగా కత్తితో చిన్న చాకు లేకుంటే బ్లేడ్ తీసుకొని కత్తిరించేది. అది పరిస్థితి.
And now to my favorite part, the pups. This short clipping that comes courtesy of Mr. Ramu, which shows how a Pandikona puppy holds his own in a standoff with a relatively larger dog. This is one of the many videos that actually prompted me on the road to Pandikona to see this for myself. This puppy here was about 4 to 5 months old during the shooting of this video. For a layman like me, and from what little I know about dogs in general, it would be safe to say that this is a very healthy and well-built pup, for his age that is. His playfulness had a good amount of caution to it, as you can see. Alert, curious, but not especially playful towards strangers. Now I present you with one of the main highlights of my visit. These pups. These two puppies, aged 2 to 3 months, at the time that this video was shot, are littermates. The black puppy is female. I'm sure that you would agree for their age that they're well developed, which was very obvious even to me. They are relatively huge and were surprisingly well adjusted to the environment, people, other animals, and dogs already. What I observed were that these dogs practice very little play biting with humans, as you can see. I noticed that when the pups ventured out and an adult dog would suddenly appear in the scene, the villagers of Pandikona do not panic and move with emotion immediately, as someone like me would usually. They wait and watch and know with a certain confidence that the pups can reach their own agreement with the older dogs. Fight or flee, mostly the former of the two, the pups in Pandikona, as I observed, are allowed to grow with a free spirit, with all its joys and dangers. These were the highlights of my journey through Pandikona. For an expert take on the topic, be sure to check out the first video, an introduction by Mr. Ramu Reddy. The link is in the description below. Thank you for watching this video. Please share, subscribe.